In 2003, I got a PS2 for my birthday, and along with it, I got Ratchet and Clank. I didn't know much about this game, but that changed over time because it was the only game I had, and I had no memory card with it. This game taught me a lot about pollution, people worrying more about money during a crisis. The cutscenes was filled to brim with humour and emotions. I got to see how friendships are formed between the most unlikely of pairings, a Lombax and a robot. Fast forward to today and shit, this game is glory on the screen. I can see my man's has got fur. They gave him fur. You get the choice to play the game in 3 different modes. I chose the both fidelity, which you get to see great cutscenes, which is in 4K, but obviously it didn't really help much when you're running something on 1080p monitors. I played on performance mode for the gameplay. This just looks so beautiful. And holy shit, I have been waiting for years for Ratchet and Clank to be looking this good while running so smooth like butter on my damn toast. Oh, kill him. Oh, kill him. Ooh. Weapons pack a huge punch with the leveling system. Do you want to shock your enemies or do you want to just blow them away? Pause. Hey yo, these devils are Insomniac. They gave certain weapons an alternative firing mode depending on how hard you press the trigger, so you can shoot single fire rate or you can shoot 3 out. I have 2 problems with the weapons. Number 1, although you play as 2 characters, Ratchet or Rivet, they both are streamlined with the same weapons. Do the weapons carry over onto the same person? Oh, even the ammo carries over? What? Okay. Maybe I'm a little bit too ambitious wanting the 2 characters to have different weapons from each other instead of just seeing a wrench and a hammer. The other problem that I have is that it gets to a certain point where I've played so much of the game that I have a certain method of how I defeat the enemies. I can either freeze them in place or stun them, and then I just use the most damaging weapon on all of them, and then maybe just finish them off with the weakest weapon that I need to level up next. Have we got gadgets? Of course we got the gadgets. We got boots, hover boots, grind boots, magnetic boots. We can phase for shit, swing from shit. We can most importantly go through rifts. A simple yank will allow you access to traverse planes that may seem out of the way, or to confuse your enemies that were just caught slipping. The problem that I have with the gadgets in this game is that there's none of them to actually go through as an espionage mission. At least in the first game there was actual variety where you could dress up as a robot and then deceive the enemies, and you go behind the wall and it's like, oh, there we go, I've fooled you all and then I'm gonna kill every one of you. Instead I am left with more to do with movement and this little antivirus called Glitch. Glitch is cute, but I'm also left with the same thing. Traverse through the planes, kill all the viruses on sight, and you've completed the mission. The mobs there. Mobs, I guess. You got goons for less, not to be confused with thugs for less.
Thugs for less. If it ain't broke, we'll break it.
You got also the Sand Sharks, they're back. But you know, when you're playing a game where it's talking about dimensions and you know, you thought that the possibilities of new enemies would come through instead of just reusing the same enemies that we've had previously, kind of defeats the whole point of, you know, selling Rift apart, isn't it? We got a bunch of mini bosses throughout the whole game, but most of them are down to just saying fight the next giant robot. The other thing that really irked me is that Rivet fights both of the Nefariouses, which is strange because I thought the game was called Ratchet and Clank, you know, not Rivet and Kit. And sure, Ratchet does go against one of the Nefariouses, but it's, you know, that fight 100 times bigger than any boss that you have to face, like, you know, the Bowser effect. That's what Ratchet has to fight. He doesn't even fight the actual Nefarious itself. It just feels so diminishing towards Ratchet as a whole. And then if I want to say anything more about diminishing about Ratchet and Clank, I could say like Ratchet has 6 levels, Rivet has 6 levels, Clank has 2 and Kit has 1, but the replayability is that you have Ratchet on 1 and Rivet has 3. Because she has to keep going back to the arena, and in one of the arenas she fights Nefarious. The fuck? Sometimes I felt the humour was a little lacking in this game, I have to admit. You know, the game that I actually got most of my jokes from when I was growing up and actually adapting my actual humour towards it, it just doesn't seem to be there anymore. I miss the innuendos. Rhino. Like, you know the Rhino joke? Rip you a new one? Come on now.
If those Lombaxes are listening, just know that I'm going to crush you into dust, and then I'll blow
that dust into a sun, and then I'll dump that sun into...
Great. Now I'm on 2 nefarious hit lists.
And he knows where we are going.
Like, that's the whole point. Like, where are they? where are the jokes? It's just not funny anymore. I guess some of the collectibles make up for some of the things that I kind of miss. There was this one lorb that was basically talking about Jak and Daxter, which, goddamn, at least someone is still talking about Jak and Daxter.
I know I was going to stop doing these recordings, but I can carve out some time every once in a while. Because I'm a genius. Dimension 31X7, not super different from home, but there were these creatures. One was firing a gun and spinning himself around every other second, while the other hung out on his shoulder doing live commentary. Oh, I wanted to hang out with them so badly.
That's Jak and Daxter. You know, Naughty Dog. Hello. And then we go to the story, which was more of a push on, go forward, just keep going on and then finish to the end. Most of the cutscenes weren't really funny compared to the older games. Some of them were just like, hey, here I am, and I want you to carry on and do this next thing. They made a reference to the plumber from all the previous games, who is related to Gary as a father, but you know, it's just... But what I did get was more to do with characterization between the characters. I got to learn how Rivet lost her arm. I got to see how Kit wants to be away from everybody. We got Ratchet wanting to still find his family throughout the whole dimensions. And then you got Bolt. If you're still skeptical about all the things that I've said about this game, and you don't want to play it, you're a fucking idiot. Play the game. It is actually one of the best things that I've played on PS5 right now. This game has truly showed me what is on the horizon of what games can be in the future, and I can't wait, because all of the things that I got to do and play, how the game was flowing in motion, how I got to see what the characters look like, this is a big leap to me, and I am all for it. But the game itself, for a fan, and a person that's played it all the way for about 20 years ago, I'm like, eh. But the game is still good to play, and you'll be a fool to not even touch it. I'll give it a 3 out of 5, and a 2-match recommendation, because it's Ratchet and Clank. I love the franchise. That is all. Bye.